Hey guys, welcome back to the Even If Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian, with my brother Luke. This is Season 3, Episode 1, and we are celebrating Black History Month. And for today's episode, we're going to be discussing Black culture.
Even though I go through the fire, I'm right there beside you. Even though I'm facing the line.
When me and you were talking about what we wanted to do for this season, man, I just was like, bro, I'm ready to jump in the fire. Just because it's been a lot that we've kind of avoided. Not that we're not aware of what's going on, but it's just things that we wanted to avoid because we were trying to lay a foundation, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's time. I think it's time now. And because whoever's with us is going to be with us. Whoever's not, I don't care. And whoever's going to leave is going to leave. But we got a job to do, right?
Yeah.
With that being said, I know it was some parts you wanted to discuss. So you just lay it on me, man. Like, where you want to go with this? How you want to do it?
I would say I guess it's a two-part question, right? So where do you see the state of the culture, and what do you think the relationship is between Black culture and church right now?
Ooh, dang, that's good. The state of the culture right now, man, I think what I've been watching is just, it's not what I grew up in, and I'm not saying that the culture I grew up in when I was growing up was perfect, right? Like every season, every generation has its flaws, right? But at the same time, we stood on something. We stood for something, right? I don't think the culture at the time I was growing up was so easily to be pimped the way we are now. I think with Black men, we're so easily seduced for the bag, right? And that's frustrating for me because I see a lot of guys, a lot of Black men, be it celebrities, whatever they may be, just being feminized for no reason. Like, it's unnecessary to feminize us. And the crazy part is that whenever feminization is happening in the culture, they use Black people to market it.
Yeah.
Not saying no other culture is being marketed like in wearing dresses and wearing purses, but the predominant person is always Black. And I'm just like, yo, what's up with this? Like how? When did this become cool?
Yeah.
Like, when did this become accepted? You know? And I'm like, man, I just remember growing up, man, and just the people I grew up around and the culture I grew up in. You know, growing up in Memphis. The thing about Memphis, we had some pride. You know, like it was always us, like Memphis everything, right? But also how we carried ourselves were different. And you know what I'm seeing is very frustrating. It's just we're so easily like tricked. And it's always for entertainment, it's always for fashion, it's always for anything to make money, really. And it's really sad and frustrating. That's what I see.
Yeah.
I think the positive things don't get highlighted. I think a lot of the ignorance is what's being shown.
Yeah.
And a lot of disunity is what's being shown a lot too. And that's just unfortunate because I feel like we have such a rich history as a people that's getting overlooked. Like, I just went back home last year, and I didn't go to Memphis this time, but I remember being in Memphis, and I was just like, yo, I feel like we don't take care of our like city. Like, it's so much history in the city of Memphis, and I know a lot of my friends watching and family watching, like, they know this. Like, from when I was growing up, like, it's just like we took care of things, and it just seems like now it's always like, you know, whenever I would go back, you know, for me, it just never felt the same. And maybe because I'm out of touch, maybe because I ain't into what's going on in the city no more, which I'm cool with that, but at the same time, it never felt the same.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what I do when I'm looking at the culture today. It just don't feel the same. So.
Yeah.
But the church, I know you said.
Yeah. Where do you think
the church?
Where do you think the church kind of fits in with like how the state of the Black culture?
The Black church?
Yeah. Just church in general.
Church in general?
Because I mean, if we're being completely honest, it's like it's like I was telling my wife, like, Black identity now has become like synonymous with like Democrats, right? And then
Yeah,
church has become
yeah.
synonymous with like Republican.
Yeah.
So now
yeah.
it's like there's just this giant divide in the church, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like anything that once you say the word black or you put black anywhere, like they almost like, depending on which church you go to, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's almost like you're become this enemy, you know?
No, for sure, man. That's actually a good example because it's almost like you're assumed something because you're black.
Yeah.
You're assumed to believe something because you're black. I when it comes to the church, it's tricky because on one side you have certain individuals in the black church, or just say church period, that happen to be black, and they get propped it up as the voice for all of us, right?
Yeah.
But then you have the ones that that come alongside the Republican Party, that they just completely dismiss them because the Republican Party is looked at in the black community as like racist, right?
Yeah. Coons.
Coons,
Uncle
yeah.
Toms, yeah.
Well, the thing about the Uncle Tom term though is still like wrong, because if you read the book Uncle Tom is actually the hero. It's the other dude that's actually what name we should be calling.
That's
but
right.
like everybody's ignorant to that though.
Absolutely.
Man, you Uncle Tom, like, bro, you actually like give a black dude a compliment, but it's because we ignorant. We
Yeah.
ignorant to the story, right? And because we didn't start saying it, it was like white folks gave us that, Democrats, and that's what we ran with, and we never looked into it. But I think when it comes to the church, I didn't grow up in church like I know like you did. I went to church, but I didn't grow up in church. So I have a different understanding, a different perspective, which I'm happy about at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't conditioned for the show. Because I feel like a lot of the times it was hard for me to find black people that was solid, with the word of God. Like the Jackie Hill Perrys and Preston Perrys, the Vody Bachums, the Dr. Tony Evans, Eric Mason. When I started finding that, I was like, hold up. So there are black people out here that's solid with the word, and they not changing, they not shucking and jiving. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually been helpful. But how the church, when it comes to this Democratic and Republican thing, I feel like there's two sides of it that you run into, because I think when you saying you Christian, be it black or white, and you so Republican, right? That's because most of their beliefs lines up with the word of God, right? Most of it, but not all of it. Because at the end of the day, if you're Republican, you still ain't straight either in the eyes of God.
Yeah.
Like, you still believe some stuff. Y'all still pass some laws that God wouldn't be cool with either if we just gonna keep it a buck, right? And then you look at the Democrat side, because they're so loud about the things that are against God. You just be ready to dismiss all of it, right? And so I think we do a disservice as believers when we just when the political side becomes our God, and we preach that more than we preach the word of God, and still trying to say, but in love, we love them, like it's nothing against them, but I'm just saying, God. No, that don't match. Yeah. You're not matching what you say you believe in when you come with that type of attitude. It's either you're gonna like try to reach the lost, you're gonna love these people, or you're gonna hate them. Because the thing about it is, you're gonna be exposed when you try to talk to folks. Perfect example. Our pastor, the church we go to, he's in a series called As One. Could y'all close that door for me a little bit? He's in a series called As One, right? He was sprouting out statistics because he was talking about the mindset, right? How to get your mind right, how you don't even know you've been programmed, right? And so he started laying out statistics, about this, about health or whatever, right? And then he gets to the part about trans, and everybody erupts. And I'm like, wait. Y'all just got loud off that one, off that statistic. Y'all literally just did what he preaching about. Y'all literally waited for him to say something that you wanted to hear and agree with so you can clap. Now, excuse me. that's not affirming these people's lifestyle. But how do you, if you got that type of attitude now how do you expect to even reach them? How you expect to even speak into these people's lives if you so ready to clap for their demise? You so ready to clap for them being ignorant or being foolish. Like, as a believer, that's not your position. I ain't talking about people in the world that's just trying to be morally right. I'm talking about trying to be a kingdom Jesus follower, and you so ready to say something negative or be excited about some negative connotation towards these people because of what they believe in, right? That ain't gonna work. You actually believe that that's how Jesus will operate. And that's what I think is the disconnect with the church and the culture.
Yeah. And I feel like that's really good because it's almost like we play sides, right? Like we're on teams. If you're on our team, you're solid. If you're not, we're against you. And I feel like the biggest like misconception right now that just came to me is like the idea of a choice, right? It's like you have a choice to choose your sexuality. So if that's the choice, right, the right side or certain people who are super Republican, super into the faith, super Christian might say, you're choosing to be gay, you're choosing to do this, therefore, like, you're that spirit I'm against immediately. However, the gray area is some people didn't choose to be molested. Some people did not choose to get raped.
Yeah.
Now the spirit has come upon them, and now that you're saying it's a choice, and you're not actually attacking the spirit, now there's now you're mad at the person and you don't understand the spirit that's behind them.
But check this out. To that point, to them like saying that, like, let's use that example, right? If I'm trying to share the gospel with somebody in the street and I'm trying to pray over them, but they start to just express, well, why did this happen to me? Why did my uncle do this to me? Why did my cousin do this to me when I was 7 years old? Like, what was God then? I understand that, but that's not God's fault. That's not what this person needs to hear. Yeah. You need to be able to tuck away your theology at some point and empathize with this person's pain right now. Yeah. Because that's what Jesus would do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, no, I'm not. This ain't the opportunity to try to preach at you. This is the opportunity for me to like really love on you and really pay attention to that. Yeah. Let me meet you in that hurt right now because I know what being healed feels like. Because that means I've been hurt before too. Yeah. So I can relate to you on that, right?
Absolutely.
So now let's talk about that. But now you get the person, you gotta I see this so many times, man, with the narcissism of believers, like Christians. When they're talking to people, they're so smart. You can't theology somebody into believing in Jesus. Yeah. It's not gonna work. Yeah. You can't strong arm somebody into the faith. It don't work like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think we're lazy when it comes to really wanting to have conversations with folks and like real dialogue. Yeah. We're just so ready to win souls for the kingdom, to brag about, well, I got this person. Well, you ain't the one saving anyway. Yeah. You ain't the one that's going to remove the scales from their eyes anyway, as it says in Corinthians. Yeah. You ain't the one that's going to redeem them. You're not the redeemer. All you is a seed planter or a waterer. That's it. You don't grow nothing, right?
Yeah, man. And even just going back to just black culture and stuff like that, it's like we can look at different things that are happening in the culture and we can be disgusted and grossed out by it and just irritated and angry about it. Yeah. But like everything is a seed. Everything is, you have to be able to empathize and see the whole picture, you know? Yeah. Like you look at the majority of people in jail grew up without a dad, right? So if you are growing up and your dad happened to be some idiot 15-year-old, all of a sudden the life that you're going to take on, you have so much that you're not going to be protected because the role of the father is so important in the house, right? So because the father was taken away from the black man, that's good. Like all the negative habits and the negative traits they're getting is all based off of ignorance. Oh yeah. Why? Because that's the father's role, and that's the biggest thing that I feel has happened to black culture versus every other culture. Yeah. Is that the idea of the father not being in the home anymore?
Yeah.
Bro, like
that's good.
I was reading through Proverbs, and I had to share this with my son because. I think it's Proverbs 12. It says, a son needs his father's instructions. And it's Proverbs 12:1, I believe it says, a son needs his father's instructions, but mockers rebuttal their rebukes. And I was explaining that to him. I said, Ellie, you have a father. My job here is to teach you, to instill, to pour into you, to guide you, to mentor you. I have that role. That's my job. All these people in jail did not have that. And so much of black culture right now, we glorify the baby mama. We glorify being a baby daddy. We glorify being promiscuous, having side pieces. And because of this, now we have these generations who are worse off than us, but they're so far removed from actually having two parents in a home that this is what happens, you know? A wise son heeds his father's instructions, but a mocker does not respond to rebukes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now about the father, like you said, because it was a period where the black man, the black family was strong.
Killing it, bro.
Was strong. Like the civil rights don't happen without strong black men, without strong black families. That does not happen.
At all.
Right? It was something like late 60s, 70s where a decline, something happened, right? And we'll get too deep into the politics.
Don't tell me to Dr. Umar, but go on.
But you got to think about this before the civil rights happened. You ever seen the movie Great Debaters with Denzel?
Yeah, of course.
So you remember when he gave the analogy when the kid was pushing back on him when they were trying to debate. And so he challenged Denzel to take the affirmative so they can debate, right? And Denzel gives the example of what they used to do to the slaves. And what they did back then was they would take the strongest slave and beat him, bullwhip him, tar and feather him in front of all the slaves just to keep them in line.
Wow.
You know what tar is, bro? The street.
Dang.
They would pour that on him, put feathers on him, and then they would tie him to a horse. This the example Denzel gave in the movie. Wow. But you think about that, fast forward, we come out of that, we build up, we had one of the strongest growing populations, after slavery, Jim Crow, right?
Yeah.
And then, we had the civil rights and everything went downhill. Because I think what's been pissing me off is like, how has the black culture been consistently 12 and 13%? Like, bro, like I'm like, hold on, bro. I'm like, hold on.
100-year sentence,
like,
census,
how?
bro, for since the 1800s to now, it's
Bro,
been the exact same
the
amount.
same amount. I'm like, yo, what is up, son? Like how we got this, like America. I'm talking about America.
Yeah.
How we got this many wealthy black people in these somewhat powerful positions as they portray, whether it's in entertainment, hip hop, athletics, acting, right? We're supposed to have people in powerful positions. And yet we promote the things to our people to keep us handcuffed.
Wow.
To keep us limited, to only think that you gotta be in hip hop, you gotta be in athletics, you gotta be in entertainment to be successful.
Yeah.
We don't never shine light on all the other successful folks unless, once again, you gotta be on the Democrat side. You gotta be doing something democratically for us to shine light on you as a black person. And I be like, yo, how the fools that's still alive, they're supposed to have marched with Dr. King, like Reverend Al Sharpton. I'm like, this man's still around?
Why? I wonder why.
I wonder
why he's still
I'm
alive.
like, why ain't I'm like, and like, I remember I said to one of my friends in college, like, they were like, you the only one that like think like that. I'm just saying, are we gonna think though? Are we gonna be like, yo, I'm looking at you, bro? Like how this man's still around though?
Thank you.
How everybody else still kicking it? Like
gone. My grandpa's
but
gone.
like, I'm like, everybody that stood on something out of here. They didn't want to wasn't trying to do no shucking and jiving out of here, but they keep them around and they keep the same energy to keep us reacting emotionally, right? To keep us in our feelings, yo, to keep us hyped. And it's like, when we gonna be like, nah, bro, I'm cool on that. Like I'm done hearing this BS, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and let me go back to what you said about the athletes and the entertainers, bro. Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
What it takes to become that successful at a sport or at a craft or anything like that, you have to be almost the most selfish person on the planet.
Oh,
you have
without
to
a doubt.
only think about yourself, right?
Without a
Because you
doubt.
have to be laser focused on this prize and on what your goals and ambitions are. So if you're doing that, how can you actually build up the culture? How can you actually build up a family when that's what it is? And a lot of time, and what sucks is, because I thought about my own pursuits of hip hop, I'm like, I don't want to be a rapper. Like, it's like the appeal for being a rapper is what? The money, the women, the fame, the look of success, the jewelry.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
once you step out of like that mentality, it's like there's nothing that really offer you. And yet that's what they preach to these young kids. So it's like, if you want to be like me, they promote the negative people so that, for example, Sexy Red.
Yeah.
Let's promote Sexy Red so that all these people of color can realize if I want to get to that point, I got to be like this.
Yeah,
I got to be.
That's good
this is the
enough.
image.
That's good
Yeah,
enough.
Exactly.
You can
So-
look like this.
and you're actually declining yourself, bro. Like you're actually diminishing who you are, and because somehow by her doing that, becoming the lowest of the lowest, she was exalted. So now,
let me just keep it a buck, man. Because I'm not gonna act like I went with the ratchetness. I'm not gonna act like I went out here like wilding, and especially in college. You know what I'm saying? Like all the stuff I used to do, the partying I used to do. I just reconnected with one of my friends, Sin, and she was like, you know, you still a legend. Like she said that to me, and I said, man, I ain't think nobody still even talk about me, you know, like that. But I say that to say, at some point you got to grow up and you got to realize that like something's afoot here.
Yeah.
At some point you got to take a step back and just be like, yo, how we still being used the same way as a culture? How we literally still this is all we're good for? This is it? Like we can't have no type of intellectual accomplishments that we promote at the mountaintop, that we shine light on that. We don't have nothing else of value but the way that we are in gangster life or in the street life or coming up from hardship and just accomplishing making it to the league, just accomplishing of winning one Oscar, just accomplishing winning a Grammy, right? Like that's it. Being able to put on a show for the culture and black people and look cool to the culture.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, man, why is I just don't get it, man. I don't understand how Dr. Tony Evans, let's take it back to the church real quick.
Yeah.
How is he the only black pastor in the history of church with the first study Bible and commentary Bible? Wow. This is Black History Month now. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you how bad it is. I just found out about this man in 2020. He's been out for years.
I just found out about him 2023 and grew up in church.
Bruh, but who do we highlight? T.D. Jakes?
T.D. Jakes.
Creflo Dollar?
Eddie Long.
How do I not find out about the man that's actually in the Smithsonian
Wow.
for the first black pastor that broke down barriers? I'm talking about real racism Tony Evans went through. They didn't want to put this man on the radio. He came to the seminaries, was racist against him when he was trying to get his theology degree. Like, just look up his story. Dr. Tony Evans, y'all, look up his story, and you see that this man is still today, has one of the most successful ministries. He's a man of God. He got his whole family raised in like a gigantic family, right? His children, everybody. Why isn't that king?
Yeah.
Why to call somebody king? They got to be on some like what you wearing, like the latest fashion trend. You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't that be king?
Yeah.
You know, for this man to have generations of people, and he built something because he stood on the word of God and he really endured.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny? If you ever watch like NASCAR, they got all the brands on them, right? Every brand on them.
Dang,
They're
boy.
getting paid how much money to do that?
Come on, bro.
And the black culture, we're paying our last to have that brand on us, and they're just marketing. They're using all these celebrities and these black people who are influential to literally free market all this stuff to these broke people. It's crazy, right?
Bro, we yo, we wearing purses, bro.
Yeah.
We wear purses, bro. D-Wade got his fingernails painted out here, yo. Come on, son. But we love this. We like this. Like, bro, you got the new like, it ain't no purse. It's my man bag. Come on, son. Come on, man. Come on, man. What we doing? And we wondering why, why our black women. Well, let me not even say that, cause. Let me say it. You know, I don't care. Where we at?
27 minutes.
All right. how black women, like, how do you know that all black women are cool with this? Now, I'm just saying, how do we know that if we only highlight one or two voices
Yeah.
to speak for the whole?
And that even takes us back to the difference between the civil rights movement and the BLM movement, which is started by women. Like the black family and the black structure of like the man being the cornerstone of the home has been gone for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So now you got this Black Lives Matter stuff with a lot of black women doing it.
Yeah.
And black women, just women in general are emotional, but the pain that black women have received and stuff like that, a lot of them are able to empathize a lot, you know? But it's funny because like they can empathize and they're like, yes, best friend, like these black women will love a gay black dude, love him. But
Well,
the moment he gets straight and he's trying to be with him, nah. You know, it's like there's this weird thing where like they'll promote D-Wade wearing a purse. They'll promote all this feminine men.
Yeah.
But that's not even that's not the men they want, which is the craziest thing. It's like they're
crazy,
not,
yo.
we're like dividing ourselves. Like it sucks because their pool is getting smaller and they're the ones promoting this lifestyle. You know, they're promoting the feminine men. They're promoting all this stuff.
They're encouraging it.
They're
man.
encouraging it,
They're
yeah.
encouraging it for sure. And I just I know a bunch of women, you know, from especially where I grew. See, this is the thing. I'm happy I have somewhat of a platform now because a lot of dudes probably can't like say some of this stuff like with conviction. Like where I come from and the people that I grew up with and the folks that know me and know my family and everything, like all of them can like vouch for this, everything I'm saying. Like especially when it comes to like what women think. Like my sister, man. Like my sister, she's single mom right now, but she used to be like a real gangster back in the day, and I used to have like real like killers at my house. I didn't have nothing to do with that because I was playing ball. I had a whole different like life, right? And she didn't want me around none of that. But I saw all of this stuff. I seen like all this crap, and people that were close to me in my life, they saw it too, right? And so when I'm seeing what's happening to culture, and I'm looking out here and I'm looking at black culture, like how we get so far away from us, just like it was supposed to be like a movement of us taking back ours, right? Like it was supposed to have all the most influential people saying like we just gonna stop buying stuff. We gonna make out. Remember when that was a thing?
Yeah.
LeBron got on his back with Louis Vuitton, modeling in it. Like everybody back doing the stuff that in dresses, yo. Like even Tyrese just did the freaking interview with Ruslan, and then he back in a red dress on the red carpet. I was like, yo, man, what is up? Like when we gonna be like, yo, what's going on? What's really going on, man? Like why we acting like we don't see this buffoonery?
Yeah.
That's all it is buffoonery. It's inconsistency because soon as it get closer to election, you're gonna see all these people try to pump all this stuff to keep us thinking the same way, to keep us reacting the same way, so we can keep living the same way and repeating the cycle.
Do you think that black culture is as like it's as hard to be black now as it was like during the civil rights movement?
I think if you believe something other than the culture, yeah. Now if you're talking about getting, water hosed or dogs sicked on you or just getting hit upside your head for being black, then no. But if you a black person and you think opposite of what's relevant in the culture today, you think what's cool, like they gotta quiet that up. Which is crazy because most people actually against a lot of this, but they don't want to hear those voices. We can't have that too loud because it affects the bottom line. Because at the end of the day, it's about money, man.
Yeah.
And once you make it, if you make it to a certain level, most people are afraid to mess up the bag because they got all these people they taking care of. But what if it was a day where the conviction of God just came over everybody that was black in powerful positions, and they just came with their family like, look, y'all, I can't do this no more. I want to stand for something. I want to be a man of character, a woman of character, right? And I want to do what we said we was going to do years ago. I want to stop being pimped.
Yeah.
I want to stop being played. Like it's so crazy. Like if I asked you as a black man, if you looking at a commercial that's promoting medicine for HIV or AIDS, who's headlining the commercial?
Blacks and Mexicans. Maybe a sprinkle of Asian.
Bro, why we gotta be the face of everything?
I saw this documentary about HIV in Atlanta in the gay community. It kept saying specifically, 1 out of every 2 black gay men in Atlanta have HIV. So I'm like, okay, what about white people? Google white people who have HIV. Not a stat, bro. Not a single stat. I'm like, so none of them got it?
It's
just minorities.
So only minorities got
Bro,
it.
on the AIDS.gov or whatever that website is called, I was like, yo, wake up, people. Like, this is crazy.
Somebody gonna Google it while we.
Bro, please Google, fact check me. Like, I was amazed. I'm like, okay, for white people though. Next step. For white people, do white people have AIDS?
Do white people? What's the stat?
Like, cause I know,
Yo,
cause
man.
I Uber drive. I know they nasty,
you
bro.
know. This man, wow.
If black people got AIDS, they definitely got it.
They
but
gotta have
why
AIDS.
put black HIV in the face?
Yeah.
Why
yeah.
even? Why is that the thing? Like, it's just you. Like,
you know
that's
why?
crazy.
Because we make everything cool. We make everything okay to have.
Magic Johnson.
Hey, I'm just keeping it a bug. Don't we make
That's
everything cool? Y'all
bro.
know
That's real.
Like black people drive the culture.
Yeah.
We drive the e-commerce. We drive the dollar.
It's crazy, bro.
Because
You're so right.
if they want something to pop off, they gonna get a black artist, a black athlete, a black entertainer of some sort.
You ain't finna see Tom Brady on no AIDS commercial.
Bro, Tom Brady ain't on that thing, bro. You ain't seeing Eli or Peyton on that thing.
Right?
You
Man,
might
that's
see
crazy.
Mr. Wade though.
Yeah.
Wade might be on that thing.
You gonna be on
though.
there twice.
Hey, Wade be on that thing, bro. Like Wade be on that joke. That thing like
Man, wait.
That's crazy, bro.
Nah, but we drive everything, bro. We drive everything. Like we the engine for everything.
It's crazy, bro.
And it's like
still to this day, bro.
Still to
we
this
built
day.
the country on our backs, and we're still driving the culture.
Yeah, bro.
And we don't get to say so. We got to go and ask for permission.
Yep.
Man, bro, it's crazy.
You can't let everybody in at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing about it, when you stand in the doorway, you get to control the traffic. And I feel like that's exactly what they do with black folks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they position themselves in a way where, all right, we got them by the hook. Let's see how long this could ride. And they've been letting that thing ride since the 70s.
Yeah. I'm going to say something even wild about it. We probably don't have to go there. All right, so.
You look
So do you know who owns like the majority stake of like Universal?
Universal Studios?
Yeah, like the music group.
What?
A Chinese company, bro. In China.
Hold up now. This ain't. I'm joking.
No, we can cut this out. But
Okay.
But it's crazy because in China, they don't allow porn and stuff like that everywhere. Like
No,
that.
they don't.
Their internet is very like exclusive. Everything is very locked in,
Bro.
very protected. And yet these labels they have a majority stake in it, they're freely pushing this
about to tell you
negative
something
image
crazy,
of a culture
bro.
to us, bro.
Bro,
It's crazy.
that's China, right? You know how they TikTok look different than us.
Absolutely,
They
bro.
TikTok ain't like ours, bro.
Bro,
They-
I can't even go on TikTok. I'll be like, oh, that's funny. Okay, I got to get off of this one.
Bro, you know Russia, bro? Like Russia, if you don't have like a farm to like make like organic, like real food, like from cows, like stuff with no preservatives, like they literally locking you up or you can't sell nothing. Like everything got to be, it can't have nothing in it. Like no, it got to be natural. It got to be real. Like everything got to be from the earth. You can't be making no artificial stuff, no artificial flavors or sweeteners like how we do. Because I was, it was just a clip I was watching. People was reading this off, and I was watching it, and I was just like, they know the West is getting weak because we're over medicated.
Oh my gosh.
We over medicated, bro. We consumed so much food. We don't eat until we full. We eat until there's no more left, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's just how we are, and we think it's cool. You know, and I just gave you that one for free.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna get into that at a later episode with some doctors I just met.
But let's go to the medicated part.
Yeah.
Because I think that's interesting. When Uber driving, every black person I pick up in Phoenix smells like marijuana. Like I'm the only black person in Phoenix who doesn't smoke.
It's medication.
Like at this point, like it's been pushed and promoted so much in our culture. I don't know if I think you said you smoked a couple times, right?
But I ain't never smoked in
You
my
never
life.
smoked? Okay. What do you think about like just that as far as like self-medicating?
Look, I'm gonna be honest
the
with
culture.
you. And look, let me just say this. She ain't gave me permission to share this, but I'm just gonna say, when I was young, my first time watching people. This was in my projects in Coventry projects on Winchester, Elvis Presley, and my first time watching people smoke was when they were like 11, 12 years old. And I walked up with my football. They tried to give it to me, told me take a bump. I said, no, I don't know how y'all put that in y'all mouth. Like, that was me at like 8, 9 years old. Like, I just didn't like the smell. I never wanted to do it. But I saw it. It was normal. It was regular. Like, a lot of stuff was regular, like when I was growing up, right? Like, I didn't think nothing of it, just like I didn't think nothing was wrong with me and my mama taking the groceries in the house, and she said, JR, get out the way. And I stepped to the side, the police just chasing somebody, right? And we keep going about our business, right? You know, so you become desensitized to things over time. Like, you don't see nothing wrong with it. Shoot, me, not too long ago, before I, went through my chiropractic care and got all my migraines and stuff to stop and been able to sleep, I was buying THC CBD edibles, bro, just so I can go to sleep at night because I was in that much pain. Like, my migraines hurt that much. And you realize that the second they made it legal, once again, it's cool now. So who's going to promote that? Who's going to make it cooler? Who's going to buy into the business? Because it's money. It's making money now. And a lot of people jumped on it. Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, like a lot of people jumped on it and started monopolizing. Well, they monopolizing and everybody getting paid from it now. So it's the ones that are going to do it is us, people that look like us. I'm not saying nobody else ain't doing it out here, but the face of it has always been us, right? And I don't know, man. I mean, I grew up and nothing was wrong with a lot of stuff, and you don't know what's wrong until it's wrong. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you learn when you learn too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
honestly, even going to that too, like I had a couple inmates who I would pray for. And one dude told me, like, his uncle told him, like, when you're hurting, you drink, that you go to alcohol. Like, that's the cure for this problem. When you're going through a breakup, get some alcohol.
Dang.
So it's like a lot of these self-medicating is because this is, like you said, this is what we see in the culture. Yeah. It's like when mama's going through it, she's either smoking weed or he getting high, or she getting high. When my friend's going through it, they're self-medicating. And I feel like as Christians, it is an opportunity for us to present Jesus in a way of, he's gonna be the cure, You'll be able to get out and actually deal with what you're trying to suppress, what you're trying to hold, what you've been trying to hide. And I feel like you said, because it's so normal, you're desensitized to it. You wake up and you have to be high, you have to be floating in order to just live your life. But that's the whole point of Jesus. And I feel like a lot of black people get so caught up in, but that's a white Jesus. It's like, stop.
Nah, yeah.
But it's like, if you actually go beyond that superficial fact, like, to numb yourself and to constantly be in this state of just high, like taking a step back, it is because there's something deeper going on. Yeah. And if you actually do go through counseling, give that problem to Jesus, and actually step away from it, you'll be able to see the difference, in your life.
The thing, let's address this too, man. I'm happy you saying that was good. Well, I think a lot of people, since we keeping it with black culture, we're gonna stay with our people, because I made this mistake too, and I think this what kept me away from wanting to read the word or wanting to know God myself, was that I was reading the word looking for myself when it ain't about me. That's the thing. Like this story is his story, right? And once you start to get into the text and you remove yourself from it, this is a navigation system on how he wants us to live. This is a bunch of examples of what we still deal with and do today. Yeah. And so when I'm reading the Word of God, I'm looking, what can I learn from? What can I glean from this? Not where am I at? Because we be ready to read ourselves into it. instead of that's called eisegesis. Instead of exegeting, which is what God has said, and just taking it and adjusting yourself. And still at the same time, what we do is because we want so badly, let's say as believers, I want to stop being this way, I want to stop doing this. So we'll come at a sin, trying to stop doing this sin with a behavioral modification, when you can't do that. It's an identity thing. So because you've done something for so long, I'm going to stop doing this now, God. It's like, let's make it simple. This year I'm going to work out. I'm going to stay consistent. I'm going to give myself, I'm going to lose 90 pounds by November. You stop working out by February 17th. It's done, right? But it's because you didn't really change the way you think. You just was focused on like, I got to do this, but you didn't put the proper things in place. You didn't really understand the seeds that you were supposed to be planting. You didn't understand how you was going to go about this to stay consistent with it, right? And so now you don't even understand like why I keep quitting, why I keep giving up, because you keep doing the same thing. Like you didn't ask for no accountability. You didn't ask to do like no team workouts. You didn't invest in yourself to go and talk to a nutritionist and do all this stuff. You kept thinking you can watch a YouTube video of somebody telling you what to do, and that was gonna be enough, But at the end of the day, you hang that phone up. Ain't nobody here with you. It's just like with your prayer life. Yeah, you saying it like this. I'm gonna do the Bible in a year. I'm gonna make sure I devote my secret space to God. I'm gonna be in prayer, and you do good for maybe a month, and then it starts to go. Oh, I'm gonna try to start catching up. Next thing you know, a week go by, 2 weeks go by. By the time Easter comes, you get convicted. Oh, let me get back on track. Then the summertime comes, you done faded away. Then Christmas time here, and you realize, dang, I only did half of the Old Testament. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, when are we going to stop and start saying some proper declarations to the things? And I think we got to get rid of these negative connotations that we have subconsciously or consciously stored up inside of us, and start really speaking life into us. Like, regardless if you believe it or not, you need to start saying these positive things until you believe it. You need, no, I am a child of God. No, I have been redeemed. God has renewed my mind today. The Holy Spirit is with me. God is before me, not behind me. I don't feel that right now, but I'm going to keep saying it every day until I start to walk that out and believe that.
Yeah. Do you think that we've given up as a culture?
Giving up?
Yeah, as far as like trying to really progress?
I feel like we've thrown in the towel and we just accept what we accept. But I feel like I am encouraged, because there is a undertone of young black people, people especially in my generation. Like, we may not be saying a lot, but you watch how we move. Like, I watch a lot of my friends, like how they are with their kids, how they operate with their children, how they are with their wives. Like, I'm watching still, like, even though they may still be into a lot of things, but at the end of the day, their bottom line is the family. Their bottom line is staying intact. And it starts with that. We can't, although we want everything to change right away, if my life don't reflect what I'm talking about, then all this is for nothing. If people run into me, see me with my wife and my sons, and it ain't matching what I'm talking about, then none of this matters, Yeah. And I think that's what we have to start. We have to make it so simple where, I'm going to start in my house and I'm going to start with my boys. Yeah. And then people going to see that. You know what I'm saying? Then with my boys, then my friends. And then you going to do it, then, then it's just going to become infectious. And we ain't even got to entertain none of the crap no more. Like, I'm not even going to give this stuff my time. Some of the videos that we see sometimes, of just putting us in a bad light, I don't even want to click on it. Yeah. Like, I don't even want to watch it, because I already know what it is. Like, I'm just tired of seeing the same old song, What Tony Braxton said, just another sad love song. Like, that's how I feel sometimes with the coach. It's just another sad love song, and I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to play it.
Yeah, I feel like what you're saying too. That's one thing that I've been realizing too. Like resentment aside, bitterness aside for what didn't happen or what could have been. It's like my job now is to plant the seeds in my children so that the lives that
Amen.
they live are blessed, are successful, or they
Amen.
are able to make an impact. And a lot of us, especially in our culture, we want to be the one. We want to be the icon. We
Yep.
want to be that star. So then
Yep.
a lot of times we'll isolate ourselves and either focus on what we're doing, or we'll just be pissed off and bitter and not actually plant the right seeds in the youth and in our next generation
Yeah.
so that they can pick up what we left off, you know?
I like that, man. It says raise a child up in the way that they should go, not the way that we think they should go.
Yeah.
It's the way that they should go, because we need to be stewarding them, right? We're stewards. Like, these are the children, they're going to be gone one day. And if we're not paying attention to the personalities that our kids got, they're not like us.
Yeah.
They might do things that remind us of ourselves, but they're still not us. They're their own people, and we need to be nurturing them where they're at. Like Memphis, this kid is freaking smart. He's curious about a lot of things. He loves animals right now. So we're going to drive that.
Yeah.
He told me the other day, I said, you want to play a sport? And he looked like, tennis. Cool. You lucky I know how to play.
Yeah.
I teach you how to play tennis. You know, Miles, I don't know. That kid there is I don't know. Pray for Miles, guys. Like that band there is something. And Mateo, he's coming up. You know, his little personality is coming up. But I'm so focused on, like, I don't want them. I'm not going to force nothing on them that I've done. Although I've been in the arts. I've been in theater. I've played sports. I pretty much can do.
Yeah.
I've touched a little bit of everything. And I know a little bit about a little bit and some. But I'm not going to, like, try to force nothing. I'm just going to see whatever it is. And I know you doing the same thing with your girls and your boy.
Yeah, man.
You know.
Absolutely. It's literally just, for me, it's about planting seeds and not like,
Yeah.
I was thinking, I said, it's so funny because all these parents who are really hard on their kids, like they're trying to live out a dream that they had that they couldn't accomplish, but now they're trying to live it out through their kid.
Yeah.
And a lot of times
Vicariously.
parents get really upset because you get two things sometimes. You get the person who you try to avoid, right? Like, I didn't want you to end up like this. That's why I raised you like that. And they end up like that anyways. Or you get the other side, which is like, you didn't, regardless of whatever you was going to do, they were going to just end up however they wanted, you know?
Yeah.
Our jobs are to cultivate them and not put so much pressure on them to where you literally start pushing them towards the direction you don't want them to go because you're so overbearing.
Yeah.
And you're so like
It's-
selfish with your relationship.
It's a lot of sad stories like that too, you know, where the parent is so on the kid. You know, everybody's not gonna be Jackson 5. Everybody's not gonna be Serena and Venus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that rarely happens because that's just not people's makeup.
Yeah.
You know, some people break. A lot of people break and they go way off. And you know, growing up in the church, that's another aspect too. You know, where it's rare you're gonna see. Well, for me, I didn't hear this like growing up at all. Preachers' kids and all this stuff like ended up, you know, being good.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
know,
it's
you know what I'm
crazy,
saying?
you're right.
But now, you know, it's we have a different generation. We approach the gospel way different than what was presented to us.
Yeah.
You know, especially to me, like I'm trying to be as accurate as I can with articulating the word of God whenever I talk about Him.
Yeah.
Am I going to do it perfect? No. But do I know His character? Yes.
Yeah.
So if you trying to say something about God or trying to insinuate something about God, and I'm gonna listen to you, I'm like, yeah, that don't sound like God's character, you know.
Yeah.
So it's easily dismissed. But how many people don't know how to do that? How many young folks that's not aware of God's character, that their ears are burning, they so ready to receive something,
Yeah.
or even they with their parents, they just want their parent to love on them.
Yeah.
I don't need you to be making me go do no laps or yelling at me because I didn't live up to your standard.
Yeah.
At least I got up there and did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, am I going to teach my son to just be okay with losing?
Yeah.
No, but I'm going to show him how to lose. Like, if you do lose, I ain't going to have you just out here being okay with getting kicked around. You know, but at the same time, I think there's a gentleness, and especially for men, like, we have to be able to tap into a empathy and emotional thing that we're not naturally programmed with, like women, but we have to be able to do that with our kids and our wife, and for us to have a successful, solid family. And Yeah, I could say a lot about that too, but
No, that's good, but that's important because I feel like in order for us to build up the black culture, the black community, it does start within our own homes, and it does start exactly what you're saying. Because
yeah,
even me growing up, like even all the stuff that you just said, I never considered that growing up. You know, like obviously my dad's raising us. Obviously things are happening, but like to be intentional with the seeds that you're planting and
Yeah.
cultivating and nurturing, you know, and actually empathizing with like
Yeah.
that side. Like you don't hear about that much
Yeah.
in the black culture at all.
where we at on time?
How much time? Okay, cool. We got like 5 minutes left. We can wrap up right now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say something
Yeah.
to everybody watching, listening, all my black brothers and sisters, you know, to my women, you know, whether you're single or married, you know, brothers, I know a couple single dads as well. You guys need to be encouraged. If you are listening and watching it to this, be encouraged and know that God does have a purpose and plan for you. And I know that's hard to believe because you're in the thick of it, right? And, you know, your marriage may be fragile right now. Y'all may not be on the same page. Being single, raising children by yourself could be difficult too. But there is a God, there is a Father that has called you and loved on you and have you in this moment right now, listening to us and encouraging you through this to do better, to be better. He wants you. He's desiring to have a relationship with you. And I would just encourage all of you to get in prayer. Have a conversation with him. Ask him to reveal the things that he has for you specifically. Give you clarity on what you need to do for your children, for yourself, for your marriage. And let's see the culture be shifted, starting on ground level in our own homes. In Jesus' name. We love you guys. It's the Even If Podcast.
Even if I go through the fire, I'm right there beside you. Even if I'm facing Goliath, you made me a fighter. Even if they throw me the lion.